from what we saw, that isn't likely, seeing as how they really, throughout the whole process, ignored the people's voices on this issue.
A potential lawsuit against Utah's transgender law restricting minors from getting certain medical treatments. Plus, Senate Bill 117 clearing a milestone today. The family of Gabby Petito joining local lawmakers at the state capitol. And ABC4's Craig Worth shares old film and pictures as we celebrate our 75th anniversary as Utah's first TV station.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
And welcome to ABC4 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Emily Flores.
And I'm Glenn Mills. Thanks so much for joining us. We all know it was bitter cold across the state last night, but you might be surprised to hear that one area in the state dropped well below -50. We're talking about 20 miles northeast of Logan in an area called Peter Sinks. It's a natural sinkhole and down in the valley. There's no way for water or air to drain out, causing the temperature to plummet. USU researcher Timothy Wright, who has been tracking temperatures at Peter Sinks for 20 years, says he could barely sleep last night because he was so excited to see how cold it was going to get, finally dropping to, get this, -62 at its lowest. I can't even imagine.
-62?
I mean, what's it even like?
No, I don't want to know. Oh, Lana, this is like fascinating for you too, right?
Okay, it's impossible to be in it, Glenn, because my goodness, that is just ridiculously frigid. You've heard a lot about Peter Sinks today. You probably saw it on social media. What does it look like? Well, I'll show you. This is what it looks like in the summer months. Drone shot here, giving you an idea of that valley that Glenn just referenced. Now, this is a natural sinkhole, elevation 8,100 feet. It's made of limestone. So this is typically one of the coldest spots in the lower 48. Well, it was the coldest today. We saw those temperatures drop to a -62.1, and that was the coldest spot for today. But this is the coldest it's ever been at the Sinks, a -69.3. Now, tonight, we are anticipating getting colder. Last check, they were sitting at -41, and we know that Arctic air is in place. So that is very close to the all-time coldest temperature ever recorded in the lower 48, and that's in Montana. And you notice that's -69.7. So that cold air really getting a great grip on the Great Basin. But Peter Sinks, oh, this could be a record breaker. We'll see. We're going to keep a close eye on it. Temperatures, though, throughout the rest of the state. Logan's sitting at -18 right now. It has been unforgivably cold up there in Cache Valley, and that Arctic air means business throughout the state. Look at southwestern Wyoming. We're down to 11 and 12 along the Wasatch Front, single digits. Delta all the way down to Cedar City. We're in the 20s in St. George. So these numbers you see when you look at your car thermometer, when you check out your phone, but you don't see these because this is the real feel of the weather right now in Cache Valley. It feels like -27. They were -30 this morning, so we're feeling close to that. -17 in Milford, feels like sub-zero in Cedar City and sub-zero in Vernal as well as in Provo. So the wind chill values are alarming. This is dangerous cold, and that's why we've got wind chill warnings in effect right now. That includes for the northern Wasatch Front, Cache Valley, and the Bear River Valley, where you can see those values could get to -40 over in the Bear River Valley. Wind chill could be up to -20, -10 along the Wasatch Front. But it's not just northern Utah anymore. Nope. This is also Millard, Juab, Iron, Beaver County, all the way down to Cedar City, where you could see -20. So the West Desert, where we're sitting in the single digits, also going to feel sub-zero with the wind chill values. Dangerous cold. How long does it hold on? Plus, this storm didn't just bring cold, it brought snow. We'll look at those final storm totals coming up in my full forecast. Glenn, Emily, back to you.
All right, Lana, thanks for tracking that for us tonight. Well, avalanche danger remains a concern tonight, especially after multiple human-caused avalanches over the weekend. Avalanche experts warning anyone planning to go into the backcountry to be careful. Craig Gordon with Utah Avalanche Center saying that there were more than 24 human-triggered avalanches where 6 people were caught and 1 person was injured.
Just days into it becoming law, and lawsuits are already on the table. The ACLU of Utah says it's looking at suing the state over a new law that prevents people under the age of 18 from receiving gender-affirming care like puberty blockers and transgender surgery. ABC4's Courtney Johns joining us live from the Capitol tonight with the latest on this effort. Courtney.
Yeah, Glenn, the ACLU of Utah says Utah is the only state right now that has a law like this that's active, and they are willing to put every resource possible into destroying this law. Arkansas as well as Alabama had passed similar bills into law, but the ACLU filed lawsuits, which in turn caused judges to put those laws on hold until they work their way through the court system. Aaron Welcher with the ACLU of Utah says this law prevents transgender kids from getting the appropriate medical care they need. Now, while some state leaders say they are merely pausing these treatments until more research is done, Welcher calls it an outright ban, saying they didn't give an end date or any definition as to when there will be enough studies to back this type of treatment. On top of this, he says in order to remove the ban, the same people who passed this law would be responsible for bringing these treatments back.
From what we saw, that isn't likely, seeing as how they really throughout the whole process ignored the people's voices on this issue.
So the bill's sponsor, Senator Kennedy, released a statement that says in part, we can't allow social policy to outpace science, especially when scientific evidence is still emerging and lacking in consensus. Now, Welcher didn't give us a timeline on when exactly this lawsuit would be filed, but he did say that at the bare minimum, he's confident that the courts would put this law on hold while it goes through the court system, because it's very easy to argue that this causes significant harm to kids. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Courtney Johns, ABC 4 News.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Well, Senate Bill 117 passing the Senate today, and it could mean major changes for how domestic violence calls are handled by police. The law would require officers to conduct a lethality assessment. These assessments comprised of 11 questions asked to the victim. Depending on how they answer, police would connect the victim to a domestic violence service. Now, the family of Gabby Petito joining local lawmakers at the state capitol today, pushing for a bill they think could have saved their daughter's life.
We do believe if it was used in Gabby's case that she would still be here.
All right, some of the questions include, has the aggressor ever used a weapon against the victim? Has the aggressor ever threatened to kill the victim? And does the victim believe the aggressor will try to kill them? Petito's parents continuing, saying that if you find yourself asking someone these questions, use empathy and care, because there is a right and a wrong way to ask. All right, coming up, protesters across America are demanding justice for Tyre Nichols, including calls for Congress to act. More from Washington when we come back.
And our Craig Worth sharing old film and pictures as we celebrate our 75th anniversary as Utah's first TV station.
Plus, Dan Nelson had his pooch enjoying snow in St. George, Washington County, picking up some flakes. We're going to look at snow totals from this storm and just how long the cold holds on in Utah's most accurate forecast.